Okay, everyone, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. My name's Anya Berg, and I work for Abby Candles Fundraising. We're an AHG-Preferred Fundraising Vendor. Thanks for taking time out of your busy lives to take part in this fundraising training webinar. We hope you'll find it helpful and informative when planning, implementing, and developing a successful fundraiser for your troop this year. So whether your troop has limited experience in planning its own fundraising activities, or whether you have significant experience with successful troop fundraising, AHG nationals, as well as us at Abby Candles think the information you'll hear in this webinar is extremely relevant and helpful for your troop and should be revisited every time you participate in a fundraiser. We'll be going through a lot of information tonight during the webinar, and we do encourage you to ask questions. There's a chat feature on the webinar, if you haven't saw it already, where you're able to type in any questions you have as we go. I have another Abby employee here to help me monitor the questions as the webinar progresses. For any questions that are somewhat urgent, we'll stop and address them at that time, and then for all others, we'll take a few minutes at the conclusion of the webinar to address those. For all other questions that we may not have time to get to tonight, I'll contact you personally following the conclusion of the webinar as soon as possible. How fundraising activities are planned and implemented are as important as the profit of the activity. The more time you take to think through the whole process, the more successful your fundraiser can be. Take time to develop a successful fundraiser so the troop's efforts are capitalized instead of throwing one together last minute. The fundraiser the troop participates in should help raise money for your program and help meet troop objectives to create an ideal year for the girls. Focus on planning and executing one or two really successful fundraisers rather than participating in several that are somewhat ineffective. So what are the benefits of fundraising? Of course, it is what helps raise money for your program, but it does much more than that. The process of planning, implementing, and evaluating a fundraising activity should contribute to each girl's accomplishment of the mission of the American Heritage Girls Program of building women of integrity through service to God, family, community, and country. Fundraising is a powerful public relations tool for AHG and will help create awareness of the AHG program in your communities. Think about this when you're choosing between fundraising options. You want to pick something that will coincide with AHG's foundational principles. Abby Candles is one of the preferred fundraising vendors whose company is aligned with AHG's mission, holding the same values as AHG, and have created programs specifically designed for the troops. Fundraising should also provide the opportunity for the girls to learn multiple skills, such as budgeting, goal setting, customer relations, good business practices, and public relations itself. Fundraising helps teach the girls about working hard to achieve their goals. It helps create and develop important life skills for the girls, promoting AHG's mission of instilling the following values: confidence, helpfulness, leadership, social development, money management, responsibility, service, and teamwork. The positive benefits of the troop setting a goal, working together as a team, and ultimately the reward that comes from witnessing the goal being achieved cannot be stressed enough. Fundraising offers a rare opportunity for the members of the troop to work together toward a common goal, a common monetary goal that will have a direct impact on their AHG year. Fundraising teaches them skills that receiving a buyout from parents, guardians, and benefactors will not. Before you begin selecting fundraising activities, make some initial plans and a troop budget with their board and the troop leadership. Take into consideration that the maximum number of fundraising activities per year that you're allowed by AHG rules is 3. Even though you are able to participate in 3 fundraisers, it's better to focus on spending time and energy again on just 1 or 2 really successful ones per year. The troop's choices in fundraising should be effective and efficient. Fundraising should help raise money for your program and help meet your troop objectives to create this ideal year for the members. It is common for the troop board to create a policy concerning girl buyouts, where you offer a buyout program for those girls who don't participate in the fundraiser. However, please be careful in discouraging the girls from participating in fundraisers due to the fact that the majority of them actually do want to participate. Fundraising helps create and develop important life skills for the girl that a buyout does not. It also instills a sense of teamwork if all the girls participate together to work toward a common goal. Every fundraising activity resembles a small business, and the planning process used by your troop will be similar to the steps taken by an entrepreneur. The value fundraising gives goes beyond the money raised for the troop. It's important to remember that individual girl members are expected to earn their own way. When the girls have an active part in the planning and execution of a fundraiser, they'll develop the skills and confidence to know that they can be entrepreneurs for life. So to create this ideal year that I'm talking about, find out what activities the girls believe would create a perfect AHG year. Get them involved in the planning process. The more involved they feel, the more devoted they will be. By helping in the planning and execution of the fundraiser, they'll realize how their efforts have helped and will help the troop. They'll get excited about the upcoming year and will learn what needs to come together to make their ideal year become a reality. Brainstorm with the girls what activities they'd want to participate in throughout the year. Think about troop outings and day trips they would find fun and where they would also learn valuable skills. Think about special events that would involve their families and the community. Also think about upcoming events that would require travel expenses, such as attending AHG conferences and other things such as this. Just be sure to get the girls talking and involved so they feel like they're a valuable contributing part of the planning process. Once you have a pretty good list of ideas or activities that the girls want to do for the year, as well as those the troop wants to be sure to offer, identify the costs involved with each activity. Go beyond the obvious expenses, say for a girl to attend camp for 2 days, and think about other expenses you incur during the year as well, such as troop dues, uniforms, patches, handbooks, and more. The troop's fundraising goals should mirror what would be necessary to create this ideal year for the girl and should be considered SMART, meaning the goals are specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, or realistic, and timely, even if the troop has a larger long-term goal. Keep in mind that all profits gained from the fundraising efforts are to be used for AHG troop activities, and no profits from the fundraiser should be placed in individual girl accounts according to IRS rules. This is just a quick example of setting a troop fundraising goal to give you an idea. Let's pretend that you're about to participate in a fundraiser because you have a big trip coming up for the troop that will cost $3,000, and you have other expenses you need to raise money for that you estimate to be about $1,000. So total, you need to raise $4,000. If the fundraiser you're participating in offers 50% profit, you would need to sell $8,000 in order to raise the $4,000 the troop needs. So that would be your overall troop goal. It's important that you not only set a goal on the troop level, but also for each individual girl so they understand what they need to do to help the troop meet its overall goal. So continuing on with the example, say you have 25 girls in the troop. In order to raise the $4,000 you need, you'd ask that each girl sell $320 during the fundraiser. If each girl successfully achieved their goal, then the troop would successfully have raised the $4,000 they needed. We'll talk a little bit more about goal setting in a little while and dive deeper into how to communicate these goals with the girls and how to motivate them toward these goals. Moving on, we hear all the time that some families in the troop are hesitant or sometimes uncomfortable with approaching their close family members and friends with fundraising. Some feel they will be considered too pushy. It could be the economic situation of certain individuals that causes the concern, or just the general idea that these individuals have possibly already supported a fundraiser locally to you recently. While we understand this mindset, keep in mind that most of the time it's the parents and the families themselves that are worried about it far more than the actual potential customers they're having their daughters approach. AFRIDS, the Association of Fundraising Distributors and Suppliers, found the following information in their April 2011 survey. They found that 62% of all Americans and 77% of parents with school-age children purchase products annually to support group fundraisers such as those with AHG. They also found that 80% also agree that product fundraising is an important financial resource for America's schools and youth programs. The top 5 reasons for supporting a fundraiser, AFRIDS found that the top reason, 44% of people said they just wanted to support a worthy cause. So as long as you communicate with your customers what you guys are raising money for, most of them will be more than happy to support you. 24% of them said it was because it was for the child's school or group and they just wanted to help out. 13% said the child was that of a friend or coworker who asked them. 8% said the seller was a grandchild or other relatives, and 5% said they just liked the products the group was selling. In the same survey, AFRIDS found that the #1 reason for not supporting a youth group fundraiser was just that 67% of them were simply not asked. So we just need to help the families get around this mindset, essentially just overcoming this small fear. So we put together a quick list of some ideas for who you can approach to offer fundraising goods to in order to raise money for the troop. Of course, there are the obvious ones: mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles, close friends of the family, and coworkers. But you have to consider beyond that to relatives and friends that may live out of town or even in another state. Many fundraisers, such as ours, offer online ordering where these individuals would be able to still support the troop and have their orders shipped directly to them. While we ask for safety reasons that girls do not sell door-to-door, it isn't uncommon for parents to take their daughters around their neighborhood or a neighborhood nearby to do this, so long as they're familiar with the area and some of the people, but always with close adult supervision. Looking even further outside the box, think about approaching businesses in your area. They can buy gifts for their employees or for key customers or for big events that are coming up. One example we hear is that realtors often buy candles or other products for their open houses. We've heard that attorneys, bank employees, insurance workers, and others buy gifts for their new clients and many other things such as this. So be creative and think of the businesses in your area and what they could do or might already do that would open the door for your girls to raise money for the troop. You could consider approaching your church family and friends, the pastor, preacher, minister of your church, anyone connected to events planning at the church. Keep your mind open to the possibilities. Think about people also that you're connected to on a more irregular basis, such as doctors, dentists, hairstylists, barbers. Ask teachers, coaches, and mentors of your troop members for their support. Contact friends on social media sites. Think about special locations and events in your community and see how you can match your fundraiser with what's going on there. You may want to choose a fundraiser that reflects the values of AHG, one that will protect its name and goodwill. Keep in mind that AHG's preferred fundraising vendors are largely partnered with AHG because of their alignment with AHG values. However, if you do still consider other options, be sure that any products you are considering are ones that the troop would be proud to offer, one the customer would be pleased to receive and would deem valuable enough to consider repurchasing in the future if given the opportunity. Your customers are volunteering to help your troop raise money, so be sure that they're getting their money worth and have a high-quality product and will be completely satisfied with the decision to support the troop. Troops should always remember that they're being graded by the person that purchased the product offered and that it reflects on their troop and ultimately the American Heritage Girls brand. Think about the profit percentage offered to you for the fundraising options you're considering. Not only us at Abby Candles, but everyone at AHG Nationals are all on the same page that if a fundraiser does not offer 50% profit or higher, it's not worth your time and energy. Make the most of your investments into a fundraiser. You'll have to put effort into a fundraiser regardless, so it's silly not to choose an option that will give you more bang for your buck, or so to say. Think also about shipping costs and delivery procedures. Make sure there are no hidden costs or upfront costs with shipping or other things within the fundraiser. Ask about how the delivery process works, if you'll have to sort through items upon delivery, if it's done for you already when it arrives, and that sort of thing. You want the entire process to be as seamless as possible for you. We mentioned it previously, but again, look into fundraisers that offer an online sales component that will help you reach farther out to potential customers that you wouldn't if that option wasn't there. Also keep in mind for any fundraisers, when you're purchasing products up front to have on hand, to be very careful. It's hard to guess how many and or what specific products will sell well in your area, and you don't want to be stuck with leftover items, creating a burden on stress on you in regards to time, storage, and financial matters as well. Again, you just want the entire process to be easy and as successful as possible. You will be investing time and energy into both the planning, execution, and follow-through of a fundraiser, so choose what would make the best impact on both you as the coordinator and on the troop as a whole. Keep in mind what other troops have done, if they've tried the things you're considering and found success with them. Look for troop testimonials and speak with AHG contacts from other troops to learn how they found their fundraising success. Also keep in mind the seasonality of the products and services you're offering. The majority of fundraising occurs in the fall and winter season, and that's also when the biggest financial impact of fundraising will likely take place for your troop. Consider what would be a good product or service to offer during specific times of the year, specifically thinking about holidays and other times when the girls and their families will see more of the people they're close with at Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthday parties, family reunions, and more. Consider how much or how many products you'd have to sell in order to accomplish your financial goals as well. For example, a spaghetti dinner, bake sale, or other service-oriented fundraiser may seem like a viable option, and it's something we hear about all the time. However, this type of project may not appeal to a troop when you realize it's likely small financial return, the preparations and effort required, as well as the quality and quantity offered to customers. And honestly, nearly every AHG leader I've spoken with whose troop has participated in an event like this has said it's just not worth the time and effort it required when they looked at the menial return the girls actually received from it. Also, when selling a product, keep in mind how much profit you'll get from each item. So each girl has a list of potential customers who usually buy 1 to 3 items. If you're selling an item that only profits $2 per item sold and you want each girl to raise $200, they'll each have to sell 100 items to achieve that goal. So you want to make sure you're giving them an option that will raise the most money for the effort they've put in. Also, don't be afraid to do the same fundraisers year after year. If something is working right and well for your troop and you're finding success with it, don't feel like you have to switch. We have schools in our area and troops across the country who participate in our fundraiser every fall or every spring, year after year, and continue to find success with it. The customers begin to recognize what you're offering and the time you'll be offering it, and they'll be accustomed to and pleased when the girls approach them again. You've heard the time-old saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. There are great fundraising opportunities and companies at your disposal, so don't settle for what's convenient or what the first fundraiser that comes across your desk is. Take time to research them, see what's available, and what will best fit your troop. Ask your fellow AHG leaders, consult your AHG troop coach at AHG Incorporated, and ask questions. Once you have chosen the best fundraising option for your troop, you will need to discuss your plans with the parents or guardians and secure troop member permission to participate. You are to use the parent-guardian permission form that's available to you on AHG's website in the leader area. You must also receive approval from not only your charter organization, but also from AHG Nationals by filling out the troop fundraising activity form also in the leader area. And this also goes for if you're working with one of AHG's preferred fundraising vendors. They want you to fill this form out just to inform them that you will be participating in a fundraiser. Establish dates for your fundraiser. Think about the timing and seasonality of the products, as I mentioned, that you'll be offering your customers. Then look at the various things that may already be on your troop calendar and work around them. Be sure you're setting aside a troop meeting to discuss the fundraiser. Be sure that you don't kick off a fundraiser at the very beginning of a new year. Take a couple troop meetings for everyone to get acclimated to the program and for new members to be acquainted with the troop and what AHG stands for before you introduce the fundraiser. Oftentimes, it works best for the troops to think about when they want the product shipment to arrive to them, when the delivery would arrive to the families, and then work backward from there when setting your dates. So if you want the products before Christmas, for example, think that you'll need to collect order forms from the families at the end of November or the very beginning of December at the latest, then work backward again from there. Most troops that fundraise with us find that 3 or 4 weeks seem to be the most successful for them and work best with the troops' calendars. So take the date you would collect the orders from the girls and back up 4 weeks, and this would be the meeting you would kick off the fundraiser. We definitely don't suggest having a fundraiser run longer than 4 or 5 weeks. With a shorter time frame, you'll find it's much easier to maintain momentum throughout the fundraiser and to keep everyone excited. Beyond that, you avoid the increased risk of the girls and their families losing any order forms, as well as the customers themselves feeling a sense of confusion as to why it's been 3 months since they ordered and they still haven't received their orders. So a 3 to 4 week time frame works well to keep everyone motivated and excited and still allow several weekends for the families to approach potential customers or supporters, and then also for the troop to give reminders at a mid-sale meeting, or also to re-motivate the girls by giving a mid-sale prize for the top seller thus far, or other ideas such as that. Overall, though, it's very important that you're just comfortable with the fundraiser itself and the products and know them inside and out. Whether you're working with Abby Candles or not, the company should be more than happy to provide support to you to ensure you're completely prepared and comfortable with the entire process. Again, don't be afraid to ask questions. Also, don't be afraid to ask for samples for your kickoff meeting if you've never sold the products before. You want to be able to have at least one example to pass around the troop and the families so everyone has a good idea of exactly what they're offering to their customers. Dedicate a troop meeting to the fundraiser. Have an exciting and informative fundraising kickoff meeting, and make sure you're enthusiastic and very thorough. Make sure the families and girls know why you're fundraising. Tell them the troop goals and the importance of meeting those goals. Talk to the girls about the financial needs that your troop may have. Let the girls and their families know that the troop treasury depends on successful fundraising. If this fundraiser is also being used for the troop support fee program support fee obligation to AHG Nationals, share with the girls that AHG also depends on the money to provide troop and leader support, training, resource materials, as well as program support that everyone needs available to help keep everything running smoothly. Review all product information so they understand what they're selling. Providing samples to see, smell, and or taste is also important, as I mentioned. Communicate with the families the timeline of the fundraiser, especially any important deadlines. Remind the girls of the procedure for turning in their orders, how to collect money, as well as delivery specifications. If products are to be delivered at a later date, you should give a receipt with a delivery date, contact number, and the first name of the seller and other information such as this to the customer so they feel comfortable. Also make sure that you give the families the contact information of the fundraising coordinator for your troop in case they have any questions or need anything before your next troop meeting. Set goals on an individual girl level as well as on a troop level. Troops that set goals on a weekly basis or even a biweekly basis will see a much higher likelihood of success than those who do not. So track troop goals as the fundraiser progresses, making it a fun process for the girls to see the progress they've made as time continues. Educate the troop members and their families that it's a fundraiser that will help the troop overall and that it should be looked to as a team-building opportunity for their girls. Make sure parents understand that their child will not receive the educational benefits that participating in a fundraiser can provide for their child if they choose to buy out and pay everything straight from their pocket. The easiest and fastest way to achieve the troop's financial goals for the fundraiser is to get everyone involved. This goes for the girls, troop leaders, and the parents, guardians, your charter, and or your community. Find a leader to spearhead the fundraiser who is organized and enthusiastic most of all, one who will bring energy to the product and continue to motivate others. If the leaders are excited, the girls will be excited too. Have girls work together. They'll build camaraderie and motivate each other during the entire process. Describe incentives and prizes the girls will get for their efforts. Make sure they understand what they'll get out of their hard work, what they'll get to do because of the money raised, what they'll get to see and experience, and how much fun they'll have. Doing this will increase their motivation and their participation. Have specific goals for them so they know exactly what they need to sell or what they want to earn to receive different prizes and incentives. Describe incentives offered directly from the fundraising company you're working with, from patches to gift cards to other prizes, and make sure they know exactly what's offered and how to earn them. And also describe incentives created by the troop. Again, set troop goals as well as individual goals for the girls. A prize form should be provided to each girl showing the prizes that are available based on the number of items or the dollar amount sold, so they'll know exactly what they need to do. So for example, if each girl needs to sell 15 items, if that's your goal, let them all know that you're going to throw them a sleepover if they all hit this, that sort of thing. Incentive prizes can be purchased or donated. However, please keep in mind that prize costs should be kept to a minimum when purchasing items. The following are a few more examples you can use when creating troop incentives. Troop movie nights, AHG spiritware, and other gifts from the AHG attic, troop pizza party, fishing, bike riding, tickets to local museums, events, and concerts, gift cards or cash, be a troop activity leader for a day with the troop coordinator, a weekly prize for the top seller, a prize for the overall top seller in the troop at the end of the fundraiser, and more. And most importantly, publicize your fundraiser and your goals so the community can help support your sale. Networking is crucial when you're raising money, so reach out through posters, radio stations, any local TV stations, newspapers, online, and more. Be sure to utilize AHG's logos and program information as well in your marketing to educate the public about American Heritage Girls. Ask your troop coach or the fundraising group that you're working with for assistance. Provide a training session during a troop meeting. It's important to educate all the troop members, leaders, and families in order to have a successful fundraiser. Helping everyone understand the fundraising process allows everyone to be on the same page, have the same agenda, and work toward a common goal. It's also important to teach troop members how to successfully fundraise so they're comfortable with the process as well. We've created 3 quick fundraising training videos that are available to aid in this, and they can be accessed by you on AHG's leader site. The first video is tips from top sellers. So AHG Tennessee 1180 was the top selling troop with us for several years running, starting with the troop's very first fundraiser ever in fall 2011, and they've raised $5,000 to $8,000 annually each subsequent year. And the top selling girl was also a member of this troop for the first several years of their relationship with Abby Candles and AHG. So this video shares tips from the troop's fundraising coordinator, the top selling girl, as well as the girl's mother. The second video recaps what we've discussed about troop planning and budgeting. The final video is one you can have the troop members watch to learn how to sell. It'll aid them with the entire experience of approaching a customer. To coincide with this, it's a great idea to also have the girls role-play customer relations skills and sales techniques so they're comfortable speaking with potential customers. Emphasize the need for good manners while selling. The girl members will be representing AHG while they sell, so this is something you want to cover during your kickoff meeting. Encourage the girls to wear AHG uniforms, spiritware, or membership pins. Identification with the organization, even an AHG cap or vest, will help the customer identify the sales girl with the group. It may be beneficial for the girls to bring an informational brochure with them as well as they make their sales in case customers are unfamiliar with the American Heritage Girls program. AHG asks that you fill out the AHG Fundraising Report form online in the leader area at the conclusion of each fundraiser. Give feedback to the fundraising company you're working with. I know we're always looking to improve our program and services and highly value feedback from customers. So the more information you give back to the company you're working with, the more they would be able to assist you in the future. Not only that, make sure you share your success. Many troops find and implement successful fundraising activities, so share your success with others to help them find their own. Furthermore, if a leader in charge of the fundraiser this year is not going to be leading it the next year, please pass along the information to the new leaders to ensure that your troop finds that fundraising success in subsequent years. Once you've found the success and accomplished your goals, also you'll be able be sure to recognize the girls, the parents, guardians, sponsors, charters, donors, and any volunteers that helped make that success possible. Have troop members write short thank you messages to each customer for their support and aid in helping the troop meet their goals. As you all know, I do work for Abby Candles, so I just want to take a couple minutes during this webinar to discuss our fundraising program with you all before we get to this question and answer portion of the webinar. Abby Candles has been working one-on-one with AHG troops since the fall of 2011, and it has been such a blessing for all of us and truly has been what we call a God thing that we were approached with such a great partnership with AHG. We offer 50% profit for your troop, and there are no minimum orders and no upfront costs. You'll choose your own fundraising dates based on your troop calendar, giving you complete flexibility. And on top of that, your troop will also have free shipping for your entire order. When you sign up with us, we'll send you brochure packets for each girl for free that will feature our AHG branded products that we make in our warehouse in Indiana. Our soy-based products are not only hand-poured in our facility, but all the ingredients are also sourced locally. And we back our products 100% and ensure complete satisfaction to our customers. Aside from the wax products, we also offer a dry cookie dough mix that you can add into the program for additional options for your customers. Again, it's a dry mix, so you don't have to worry about the refrigeration or freezing aspect during the delivery process. We also pay for and provide a prize program for the girls where they can earn various patches and fun prizes. And the money for these patches and prizes don't come out of your troop profit. It's simply our way of motivating the girls and to thank them for their hard work. And not only that, the majority of the prizes themselves are purchased directly from the AHG addicts, so we're filtering money back into the AHG program through a prize program alone. And one of the best selling points of our program that gets troop leaders the most excited is the fact that when you get the delivery, the process is completely easy for you. You'll collect the order forms from the girl at the end of your sale. You don't have to tally any forms or submit one master troop order. You simply send the forms to us and we take it from there. And then when you receive the delivery, everything's pre-sorted for you by individual seller. So all you have to do is hand the box to the families for them to deliver to their customers. So there's literally no sorting that needs to be done on your side, so the process is super simple. Furthermore, before your fundraiser even starts, we'll set your troop up online for web orders, so if the girls have any friends or family out of state or even just a few cities over from you, they'll still be able to support the girls and the troop by ordering online. They can have the order shipped to the troop for the girls to deliver, which is a great option for those who will be seeing each other over the holidays. And they also have the option to have their order shipped directly to them by UPS. Then even after your fundraiser has ended, your troop will still be set up on our website for an entire year after your sale ends. So all you have to do is send out a quick reminder email to your contacts, and any web orders that come in for your troop, we'll take care of them from start to finish, and then we'll mail you the profit check. So you have the opportunity to earn profits year-round. If you sign up to work with us, you work one-on-one with me throughout the entire process. I stay in contact with you several times throughout the fundraiser to make you feel as comfortable and prepared as possible. I'll remind you of various things you need to discuss with the families and the girls, different ways to increase your participation, and I'll give you many tools that will aid in your fundraising success. We've developed the fundraising program for AHG for the specific needs and design of the troops. So from the fundraising training videos we discussed earlier to a list of badge requirements the girls will be able to check off their handbooks during the fundraising process, to role-playing scripts to teach them how to speak with customers, letter templates for the troop to pass information along to parents, sales projection templates, goal-setting documents, and specific information about our products to help you market them in your community and more. It really is all laid out for you to help you in every way to make it as successful and easy to pull off as possible. We've worked with hundreds of AHG troops in the past few years and are really excited to grow a relationship with AHG and hope you'll join in the fun. You can also read testimonials from AHG troop leaders that have worked with us recently and see how they've enjoyed the process, the ease, the products, and the overall experience. Our Facebook page has dozens and dozens of these testimonials from AHG leaders just like yourselves. So to bring our Fundraising 101 webinar to an end, just a couple of notes before we go to look at the questions you've all asked during the webinar. Be sure to take a look at the Troop Fundraising Guide that was sent to all the troops in your welcome back boxes. AHG had us revamp this guide with up-to-date fundraising info and with all the tips we've covered in this webinar, so it can serve as a nice recap for you. I hope you found this webinar enlightening and that it's helped you feel at ease with your fundraising decisions and planning. Of course, we hope to hear from you all soon, but even if we don't, we want you all to find success. You can provide a great year for all these AHG girls, allowing you all to focus on instilling the values and character that AHG provides. If you would, after our Q&A session concludes, please take a minute to fill out our post-webinar survey. We'd love some feedback so we can help AHG troops even further in the future. In case any of your fellow AHG leaders were unable to participate tonight, we've recorded this webinar and we'll be uploading it for viewing as soon as possible. Please have any AHG leaders you're connected to contact me if they were unable to participate but wish to view the webinar, and I'll be sure they receive the link. Okay, so time for questions. We actually had a couple questions that were sent to me from a couple leaders' registration info, so let me address one of those real quick. The question said, I need advice on how to lead a fundraiser with no dedicated fundraising chair and already a full plate for other leaders. So your fundraiser is more likely to be successful if you have one designated fundraising coordinator to it. But if that's not possible, as you're talking about, you can still raise a lot of money. Just try to share the responsibility between a couple people to lighten the load. You can work together to put together the dates and details of the sale initially, and then choose the most enthusiastic leader of the bunch to run the kickoff meeting, and then to share some of the responsibility moving forward. Have the leaders of each unit within the troop be in charge of collecting the money and order forms from the girls in each of their own units, and then passing out the orders themselves at the time of delivery. Again, have each leader assist their girls in finding their own orders. Honestly, beyond the initial planning, it's not that much responsibility that you have to deal with, and it's probably much less than you're probably anticipating. And the company you work with should remove the burden and make it pretty effortless on your part. So I hope that helped a little bit, but if you want to discuss it further, feel free to contact me. Let me scroll over to our questions board and see if there's anything we need to address. Okay, so there's some questions on here asking if you should participate in 2 fundraisers at the same time. We definitely suggest not doing this just because it creates more of a burden on the coordinator, because you have to worry about details for 2 different fundraisers at the same time if you're doing 2 different companies and that sort of thing. But it also creates confusion for the families dealing with 2 different brochure packets and all of that. You'll have to worry about the girls putting orders from one fundraiser on the order form of another and that sort of thing. So I would definitely advise against that. And honestly, for on the fundraising side, we don't prefer that as well either, because it just makes our jobs more difficult. I see a question on here. Can you talk again about the buyout policy and why it's important? AHG kind of requires a buyout policy because they can't force the families to participate in a fundraiser. So they tell the troop to come up with sort of a dollar amount or something like that, to where they would offer, say, to the troop, hey, you can either raise this much money in the fundraiser, or you can pay it out of pocket and not have to participate in the fundraiser. But again, we do advise against, you have to offer it, but we do advise pushing that option to the families, just because there's so many things that the girls can learn and experience by participating in a fundraiser with their friends. So you don't want to sort of hinder that opportunity for the girls. Hang on just a second. Okay, so there's some questions about the cookie dough option that Abby offers. It works exactly the same way as all the candles. It's still 50% profit. It's still going to be sorted by individual seller when the delivery comes in, and all of the sales from the cookie dough would still go towards the girls' prizes. And then also, even though it's 2 separate brochures, they're going to get them together, and they put all of their orders from either brochure on one order form, so it's pretty simple for them. Okay, we got a question, how soon should a new troop start a fundraiser? As I mentioned, I wouldn't advise starting a fundraiser for a new troop within the first probably 2 or 3 meetings at least. Just let everyone get accustomed to how AHG works, and let the families sort of wrap their brains around what it's standing for, and get an idea of what they'll be raising money for. Because if you're telling them, hey, we need to raise this amount of money the first or second meeting that they're there, they may not even understand the types of things that AHG troops typically do, like going to camp or the different activities. So you don't want to kind of catch them off guard on that. Let them acclimate themselves to the program. Okay, we have a question, how long does it take for sales materials to arrive once you've signed up with us? If I talk to you one day, I can get order forms to you definitely within a week. It just depends on how far you are from our location in Indiana. We ship them by UPS, so the longest UPS ship time is like 4 days to the West Coast from us. So as long as you give me about a week notice, we'll be fine there. Okay. We have some other questions on here, but we're just going to go ahead and contact all of you individually with some of these more specific questions. And if you want to, you're also welcome to contact me. My email's on the screen here, as well as our phone number. I'm happy to help all you guys out. And like I said, even if you're not working with Abby Candles, we still are happy to help you with any questions you have or give you suggestions on how to have a successful fundraiser. We want you to find success, so you'll focus on laying the foundation to create young women of integrity with AHG's mission. So we will take a second to address all those questions as soon as we get a chance. Again, pass on the information to other AHG leaders, and if they were unable to attend, have them contact me. We have been recording this webinar, so we'll be uploading it as a video, and we'll send out the link. But for anyone that isn't in attendance on this webinar, if you'll have other leaders contact me with their contact information, we'll add them onto the mailing list to make sure everyone receives it. Let me make sure there's nothing last minute. Okay. All right. Again, thank you all for taking time out of your day to participate in this webinar. We hope to hear from you all soon and hope you have a very blessed year, and have a great night, guys. Thanks, everyone.